Now, I want to tell you about something that is called zebra drinking. I don't know if you've heard of this term before. It seems that there's a growing trend with the way that people are drinking when they go out. Now, zebra drinking, what it is it's alternating alcoholic drinks with non-alcoholic drinks. So it could be that you have your G&T and then you have a soft drink and then you have another. Obviously doing it responsibly, but recent research shows that a quarter of UK drinkers are already doing it when they go out. So with more alcohol-free options behind the bar than ever, is this reshaping nights out? How are bars responding to this, and what does it mean for the future of going out? Eddie Odudu runs the very successful Manchester Lounge, which is in central Manchester, and is here to talk more about this trend. So good morning and welcome, Eddie, and I like that you're drinking water at this time of morning.
I thought that's all the BBC could afford.
So we were just mentioning there about this trend, zebra drinking, and when I've been looking into it, it's saying that this isn't actually a fad, it's a cultural reset. What's happening when you're in the bars? Are you seeing this shift?
Okay, first of all, hi Simone. Yeah, we are seeing the shift, and I think a lot of the drinks companies were ahead of this. This is obviously been termed as zebra drinking. And some people, I was speaking to my sister yesterday and she kind of guessed it, but I didn't realise it was actually a term. I think the BBC did a food programme a couple of weeks ago on it as well. So I don't know, I'm not saying that they termed it, but 100%, obviously it's just coming off the back of dry January, where that was the biggest month now for people not wanting to drink alcoholic drinks. But it's something which, I'm an old guy now, but the older people, if you want to prolong your night, so rather than it being a shorter night, you're then too drunk before maybe the main part of the night, or you need to stay there for a bit longer. It's we're seeing it as a way that prior to the zebra drinking, which we'll specify in a minute, people just want to drink a bit more, but rather than it just being so, excuse the term, wasted, after a few hours, it just prolongs the night. So even if they were going to have 4 or 5 pints for the full night, as opposed to having it like an hour time, the faster you can drink it, the better. Those 4 pints and then you're drunk and then you're getting kicked out. I think they're just spreading it out more.
Yeah, and I know that when I was at uni, it was a thing where you had 2 for 1 on drinks. They also had student nights where it was basically £1 for an Alco Pop. But what we used to do when I went out with my friends is we'd have a drink but then have water. So I'm wondering if that is a thing that's always been there, but now we're more conscious of it just because of the health aspects. Because when you're drinking alcohol, the amount of calories that you see in an Alco Pop, or even in when you're having like a shot with a chaser, there's a bit of calories in there, and people are now more health conscious, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, we run a bar, so we're about the sales. Obviously, you've got to be responsible, which we thankfully pride ourselves on responsible drinking. But there's multiple aspects of this. Obviously, the report, what the BBC originally did was mainly seeing it as people trying to be a bit more health conscious in terms of drinking an alcoholic drink and then a non-alcoholic drink or low-calorie one, yeah, which is fine. But there's also the economic aspect to that. People don't have as much money as they used to do. So you want to spread out your night. So if you're going out, you might have had some drink beforehand, but if you can prolong your night, you will then drink beforehand, and then when you get to the venue, you're drinking one, then drinking a non-alcoholic or water, then drinking another, and that way. So there's also an economic angle to it as well.
Yeah. It's been said that young adults are moderating their drinking and that this isn't a fad, this is the way forward. I've got a young sister, she's in her 20s, and when it comes to, like it's Christmas and you get out your Baileys and you get out your Prosecco and possibly some Buck Fizz, she's like, no, have you got something that just a soft drink, or can I have water? And I'm just like, wait, you're not part of our family if you're not drinking, type thing. But this is a way that I think it's going forward now.
Yeah, and it's definitely going forward. Again, you're hitting on something where people are naturally not wanting to drink the volume and the strength of drinks what they would have done historically. When we were at uni, it was things like Carnage and similar types of named events where it was just how fast and how much you can drink. It was kind of like a badge of honour, male or female. But nowadays, you know, students aren't wanting to be totally drunk, totally wasted and can't remember what they did the night before, you know, as well as the economic aspects as well. They'd rather go to do some daytime drinking, and that's even seen in the older market as well. You know, if you're going for a bottomless brunch or daytime party, the last thing you want is to go home and, you know, the other half see you staggering in at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, or your children, you know, whereas, you know, and you're wasted. So this is also good for your bottomless brunches and your daytime drinking, which is massive now.
As a club owner, because you've got multiple clubs across Greater Manchester and the UK, how are you finding the clientele now? Are you finding that it's easy to manage because people aren't, as you call it, wasted? They're more relaxed, or they're just enjoying the vibe and the music?
And again, it's different. The main one, what we have, obviously, the Manchester Lounge near the Printworks, that's until 7 a.m. And one of the things what the police were very nervous about when we opened 18 years ago was there would be people staggering out at 7 o'clock in the morning opposite the Arndale, you know, bumping into, you know, taxis and people going to work. But it couldn't be further from the truth. Obviously, the later the night goes, some people say you drink yourself sober. I'm not one of them. I don't believe that, but it's never, the biggest incidents, even in the city centre, would still be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So there is a case of responsible drinking even since, you know, we've been there, but that is obviously different than, we've got a live music venue in the Northern Quarter, and that, the drinking pattern's different as well. Again, that'd be more like your zebra drinking, because it's a live music venue. You don't want to be too drunk when the artist is going to come on. So, yeah, you would have one alcoholic drink, then one soft drink or no alcoholic drink.
It's really interesting, this. It really is. I'm one of those now, Eddie. I don't know if I've come to that time in my life where my perfect night is getting in bed, electric blanket on, some nibbles. If my friends say to me, "Oh, you're coming out tonight," I'm just like, I just want to stay in and watch telly. I don't know if that's because I've done it all when I was younger, and because I went to university here in Manchester and I was born in Manchester as well. I'm thinking to myself, is this the time now where I just need to settle down and just chill out? I don't know if that's the age that I'm at. Who knows?
Well, what is it? Netflix and chill. You know, that's that's a big trend at the moment. And then you get all this Galentine stuff or whatever. Well, we'll get onto that. But yeah, again, it's nothing against you, or you do nothing wrong. You know, we all like a nice tickle at home.
Matron. You've just come from the club, so what is it that you've got on this weekend?
Well, this weekend, glad you said that. It's a diverse club. You know, most people think it's just an urban venue, but, you know, I think tomorrow we've got, on a Friday, Funky Friday, you know, it's funk disco, but then on a Saturday, it's usually brown sugar, and then late hours until 3, 4 in the morning.
Right, thank you very much. That is Eddie Odudu, who's here from Manchester Lounge, telling us about a new cultural reset, or is it a fad, called zebra drinking. Now, please do head over to www.bbc Action Line if you do want more information on support and help that is out there, if that has triggered you this morning. Well, it is BBC Radio Manchester.